Hello coders, good morning. Sorry for being a wee bit late. I was making a cup of tea and talking to Murphy and then time just sort of evaporated. Murphy has had a nice walk. Murphy pup, the English Springer Spaniel of mine. He's 19 weeks old today. Yeah, today, Tuesday. Yeah. And he's now in his dog bed just chilling out with a bone. So hopefully, but if you hear any squeaking, if you hear any growling, barking, snarling, although he doesn't do any of that. But if you just hear any general chewing, it isn't me, it's the dog. It's the dog. Today, what I would like to do, as I mentioned on the Discord server yesterday, Discord, howtocodewell.net/Discord, is that I've been working on the codechallenges.howtocodewell.net website. I was playing around with some GraphQL last night. It's in the development branch. Let's just go over here. Hey, Tyrannid. Where's the button? Where's the button? Here we go. Boom. There we go. So I was playing around with the code challenges site last night. GraphQL, a little bit of markdown alterations and so forth. So I want to show you those as well as continue working through that. So, good morning, Tyrannid. Hello, welcome. Before I start, let's just say a massive warm welcome to Vagnas, and it's me, EF34TH3R. Thank you all for following. I do appreciate that. I've been away for a few days. I've had a bit of a social media blackout, so there are a lot of things that I need to catch up on. So if you are trying to get hold of me through YouTube comments or Twitter DMs, I am aware that there's some that I need to work through, and I will be doing so in the next few days. So let's crack on. What I'm going to do, just load this up. I've just updated my Z shell, which is all good. Breakfast with the coder. That's a good. That's a good name for the stream. Interesting. Okay, so I'll show you what the master one looks like. That's probably a good idea, right? So let's do Gatsby. Develop, putting on port 9090. So just as a side note, I was given for Christmas for my advent calendar. One of my advent calendars is an advent of herbal teas. So this one here that I'm drinking, this one is a herb tea that I've never heard of called hibiscus. I think that's how you pronounce it, hibiscus. It's fruity. It's a fruity tea. It's nice. I don't know what hibiscus is. Don't think I've ever had it before. But hopefully it's all right. What's the worst that could happen? So every morning I have a new herbal tea. What am I looking for? I'm looking for that. This is what I'm looking for. Port 9090. So this is what it was. This is what it looks like now. If I go to code challenges.howtocodewell.net, that's what it is, and this is what it looks like in master, exactly the same. I've done some alterations, and I'll just show you what those are. So if we go over to here, if we pull down the develop branch, so if I check that out, and then if I do a git, no, over here, isn't it? It's git remote repository pull. Maybe that has gone through. Let me just double check. No, because I did some alterations to that, didn't I? I think. Header, yeah, I did some. Let's do a git fetch. Murphy's wagging his tail and it's knocking the light. Git pull. Yes, please, pull that down. Okay, 15 files updated with 6 commits. What I'll do is I'll go through these I guess what I could do is probably easier to do it on GitHub, to be honest. But I did. I added Tailwind. I updated the index to show the current challenges and add. Well, let me just show you the code. That's probably easier, isn't it? So that should have rebuilt itself. Yes, there is a problem here with SEO. I need to sort that out. But we should hopefully now, if I, we should now have the current challenge, and we should have the previous challenge. I'll go through that code in just a second with how I did that, and then if you click on the previous challenges, obviously you get to here with the video as we've done before. I also put in 2019 How to Code Well link there instead of the built with Gatsby. So yeah, just a small little tweak, a little change. And as I said, Tailwind has been installed and is being used. Let's just take a look at the old GitHub branch, and I'll show you the changes. So if we went to, you're right, compare. This is probably a nicer way of doing it. So okay, so I've added in post CSS, and I've added in Tailwind. Okay, and you also need to have the post CSS config to set that up, and obviously the tailwind.config.js file. Okay, the current challenge. This is an interesting job. It's GraphQL. You want to create your GraphQL like this, where you're getting all of the markdown things, but you're only limiting to one. So that's important. Limit to one, and this is important as well. The order based on the date, the front matter date. You want to order it by ascending order, and then I did some alterations to format the date better. And then under here, what we're doing is we're rendering this out, passing in the data that we've returned from here. Now, this is going to return edges and nodes, so there's going to be more than one. However, there will only be one because we've set it as a limit. But what I'm saying is it's going to come back as an array, which means that we need to do data.all markdown remark edges of 0, so getting the first one, well, the only one really, and then node front matter title. Murphy's gone asleep. So that pulls out the title. This pulls out the technologies and joins them with a comma, like so. And then it puts it down in here. It also returns the HTML. Now, the HTML is outside of the front matter, of course. So there, that is that. Now, that component, that code challenges component, returns this. Which means that if this was November, then that would be all of this. Well, apart from the video review, but all of that. This is why I need to keep the markdown files and all of the things around it, such as the video review and the challengers, the list of challengers, separate from the actual markdown. So the list of we'll get onto that in a minute. List of challenges needs to be in the front matter, not the actual HTML, or not the actual markdown. That's what I'm trying to say. So the markdown of the code challenges needs just to be the code challenge. It can't be anything else. Otherwise, it will get brought in to the home page, which I don't necessarily want. Okay, so. Let's scroll down. What else is done? So we've tinkered with layout.css because we're now using Tailwind. I stripped out all of the stuff in layout.css and we're importing Tailwind. I'll show you that in the code, I think, rather than GitHub. Okay, then I changed obviously this the footer here. I need to work on that better. Actually put in a proper footer. This is post links, yes. So what we do is we pass in the post and we pull out the title and the date. I'm not overly happy by this. This returns this thing here, sorry. This returns that bit there. So we've got the name of the challenge and then the date. I am not overly happy with that. I don't think we need the date at all. and I think that I don't think we need to have code challenges each time. So I'm a bit sort of unsure as to what that will be. And in fact, what I'm thinking of is having the previous challenges, because this will be, you know, a list of challenges. So by the end of the year, there'll be 12. I'm thinking of having a right side column here of previous challenges. So if we ever have, if for instance it was the November challenge, this is quite a large challenge, you know, that much there. I want that to just be the left hand side, and then the previous challenge, the right hand column here could be the previous challenges. Segfault anxiety. Yes, I'll pet the pup now, right? But I can't wake him up, because if I wake him up, he's going to be nuts. But hopefully he'll wake up later and I can show you. But I'll just pet the pup. I'm going to pet the pup. Murphy, this is from Segfault Anxiety. Oh, you're a good boy. Yep. The pup has... And you've got a tail wag. You have a tail wag. Okay, so after post links, we have the global CSS. This is... Oh, so I can show you. So this is a new file that we've created, global.css. This has the Tailwind base and components. These are how you import the Tailwind bits and pieces. And then I just created this rather basic body. So margin and padding are 0, and we're using font Arial. I'm not happy with Arial at all. That will be changed. But I need to think of the MVP, and we'll talk about that more later as well. So the src pages index.js, this is the index page, the home page. So this is a little bit, this looks a little confusing in my opinion, but I'll go through it. So I've basically removed everything we had. We had the to-do and everything there. What we have is we're now importing lots of things, including the current challenge and the post link. I need to deal with the SEO because it's not there at the moment. And then here we get all of the markdown, all of the edges. So this is how it is. This is important, right? So we've changed the order now to be descending, but we're skipping the first one. This means, and this is actually quite a nifty trick, that the previous challenges will not have the current challenges in. So if the current challenge is December, the previous challenge doesn't have December, it starts from November. Which is a good way of skipping the first one in the previous. Otherwise, there's no point in having a link to the December challenge when the December challenge is here, in my opinion. Okay, all right. So that does all the other bits and pieces are pretty much the same. I'm not too sure why I got the excerpt in. I think what I was doing is I was using a tutorial last night on how to do this, and I've probably ported some bits and pieces over. Okay, so this one here then is we are looping over the edges. We're filtering those out, getting the date, and then for each one we're mapping that to a post link, passing in the ID and the actual node itself. And the post link file is up here, so we can get the post and the title and the date as so. So that produces that. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Segfault. That's no worries. You go in and out. There's no problem with that. So that's the index page done. And then the Tailwind.config is just a blank Tailwind config thing at the moment. And I think what I do, this is probably not the right way of doing it, but what I do is I create the CSS, and then I decide from that what the themes and the variants are. Okay, so that's the changes that I did last night, and they are working like this. So what I'm thinking of today is going through some of the other things, because we got Tailwind in there now, and I want to talk about the MVP, as I just mentioned, the minimum viable product for this, because when I was off the other day, well, last weekend, sorry, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about, why am I getting so stressed over everything? Because it just felt like, I needed to take some time off to defrag my mind, shall we say, and think about how, the Discord server, in my opinion, has blown up since I made it public, to the point where, which is fantastic, but it's gone into many different directions that I didn't think it would go in, and those directions have been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But I was getting a little bit sort of like, and now I'm starting a new project and all of this stuff, and then with the freelance stuff, I've got some, stresses and strains with that as well. It's just freelance. And things just started to get on top. So what I would like to do is sort of carve a little bit of organization out of what I do here on the streaming and the projects, because there's 3 projects really that are ongoing, and I'm aware of at least 4 after this. So the 3 projects are obviously this coding challenges site, right? We've got the design patterns PHP course that I'm doing, and we've also got the JavaScript course that I'm starting. So these are the 3 things that I'm doing live on Twitch. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is splitting up the actual streams. So actually saying, like, Tuesday streams we do project 1, Wednesday streams we do project 2, and Thursday and the next stream we do project 3. That way I'm not sort of like, I'm not having to worry about everything all of the time. I think that it's good to sort of how do you say this? Compartmentalize. Is that the right word? Where you're putting things in boxes and you're saying, right, this is what I'm doing today. I'm not worrying about the other things, and I'll do the other things the next day, that kind of thing, So today is the day of the Gatsby site, and we're going to continue on through this. And then the next stream, we're going to be dealing with the design patterns thing. Otherwise, you see, I've got a feeling what's going to happen is that I'll drop a ball, and something will just fall by the wayside. I think in terms of complexity, this is probably the most straightforward one out of them all, and I'm in control of how technical this is. So what I would like to do is go back to GitHub here, and I want to talk through the project itself, the Code Challenge project here. So there's 10 to-do items, and I've done a few of them already. If I scroll that way, there we go, you can see them here. And we also have how do I get to the versions, milestones? Here we go. So we got version 1 up here. So phase 1 includes design and basic features. So this is really my MVP, I think. This is the first ever. I'm actually going to put this down as an MVP. I'm not going to put a due date on it, because I think that's going to stress me out. But really, what I would like to do is I would like to do the minimum stuff that makes me feel comfortable in version 1. And I've got lots of ideas of where this project could go, how this could look. And I think what I need to do is create a version 2, V2, let's do 1. Let's do version 2, V2.0.0. And we're going to do phase 2, because this means that this now becomes the backlog, right? This becomes all the things that I can do. I can put in the backlog and not look at my V1 and go, oh my gosh, there's so much. Let's just edit that to make that lowercase. Because I do look at these things and it freaks me out a little bit, all the stuff that's left to do. And then what happens is I lose sight of the actual things that are bigger priority, such as the actual courses next year. Okay. All right, so that's the way it rolls. I think that's what I'm happy with, more comfortable with. So let's have a look at some of these issues then. Okay, so add Tailwind, that was done. Fix favicon, that was added by Tyranad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that, I'm going to mark that down as, I'll put that as myself. I'll mark that down as a enhancement. It's design and it's an enhancement. I'm going to put this as the project, obviously. I don't know why that doesn't happen by default. And then this I'm going to put down as version 2. So thank you very much, Tyranid, for making that suggestion, and I welcome more suggestions if you can think of any. But now what I'm doing is I'm sort of carving up the things that I think are higher priority and lower priority and all sorts of stuff. That's very true, Segfault. Yes, because if you think about it, I have spent the past, say, 30 minutes discussing all the things that I've already done. Whereas one could argue I could have done all those in 30 minutes on the stream. Well, no, I probably couldn't have done that because I was having to read a lot of documentation. Yes, but vice versa. There is only so much you can. There's only so much time. I mean, weekdays, I'm really sort of blocked because I would love to continue on all of these things. But I have client work to do. I've got Magento stuff that I need to deal with today. I'm just gonna cry in a corner. Yeah, I can't talk about any of that stuff because it's NDAs. So yeah, as you mentioned. Okay, so that's done. That is done. That is done. That's done as well. So I think what we need to do is go through a bit of a tidy up of this stuff. So that's done. That's done. Well, what we'll do is once this goes live, I'll then go through this because there's no point in, otherwise I'll be reopening things if I click the wrong one. This is important. Add submit your challenge button. That's important. The standard footer is less important. I think I did this in order, didn't I? I put this in on the projects. Cool. That's just reading that segfault. That's really cool. Cool. In the Discord server, do put a link down to where you stream. That would be great, and I'll give it a look. Add list of challenges to each challenge. You can do that, by the way, in the Who Am I channel. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the in progress stuff. So add a list of challenge. No, put the current. Yes, that's in progress. I should have done this last night. Add a list of previous challenges to the homepage. Yes, that's in progress. Add a primary navig. No. Add icons. No. 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 Add standard footer. Come on, there must be more. List of challenges. I'm sure I saw. Add the same. I'm sure I saw Tailwind in here. Is Tailwind not in the list? Projects, code challenges. It's in progress. There we go. Oh, I need to triage the issues. That's right. Gotcha. Hey, CS Gaming. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Do I have... Yeah, that's good. That's good. Fix favicon, I think, needs to be triaged as well. That's going to be in to do for version 2. Add your submit. Has that been triaged properly? That's in to do. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just thinking there's 14 issues and there's only 8 on the thing. So let's see. I only want open issues. Add a list of previous challenges. Is there a way I can see all the ones that are not assigned to a project? I don't think there is. Although I could probably do... mark as, no, just making sure that version 1, version 2, 2.1, 1.1, they all look like they've been submitted. Okay, whatever. That's we will work through. Otherwise, I'll spend too much time on stream actually doing the admin work. But I think we also have the Tailwind thing. Challenge standard fix. Okay, no, don't worry about that. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Okay, so there is. That's all good. Okay, so those are done in my opinion. I do want to do the submit button today because I think that's pretty important. We'll put that up here. So the idea with this is this should go to the Discord server. Preferably, this should go to howtocodewell.net/discord. So yeah, and I'm thinking maybe that as another potential project is to have a howtocodewell.net submit challenge section where it's a landing page just for the submit bits and pieces. But you know, that will come in time. So, all right, let's get into some code because I haven't actually written any code today. So let's do that. I'm guessing what we need to do is have in the current challenge, I would like to have the submit somewhere here, probably down there in the current challenge, because this will display that sort of here. And if you think this is going to go to the right-hand side, that could even be a version 2 putting it on the right-hand side because there's only one of these at the moment. So the submit button would be probably around here somewhere. So yeah, and then also what I would like to do is have one for every for everyone here, because or do I only just want it for the homepage? Maybe I only just want it for the homepage. Yeah, okay, let's just do it for the homepage. If I want to do it for anything else, I would set that as a V2. All right, so the simplest thing in this case is to do a button or a link, a href, and this is going to there, and I think, is that how you do it? I'm not in React. I'm not too sure. Let's just refresh. Did that go in? No, it didn't. No, yes. Current. Hang on, what's going on? What's going on? That was rebuilt. ESLint. Okay, that's a complaint about the SEO stuff. Let's go to... Actually, probably don't need to do that there. I need to do that in the actual page itself, don't I? That would make sense in here. So current challenge, and then after that we have the A tag. There was also a problem with the SEO. So I'm going to remove that from there. I'm a little confused. Why is that current challenge? Let's just change that. Put in some exclamation marks. Am I not? There we go. The exclamation marks were added. So that obviously didn't go through. Is it because I was just wondering whether this is different because it's React. Submit your submit challenge. Submit challenge. There we go. Submit challenge. Okay, cool. We'll also give it a class. Should we give it a class? Yeah, we'll give it a class of btn, and then submit, or btn-submit. With an S there, I'm missing an S. And it's supposed to be class name, isn't it? And because we're importing from layouts, I think that needs to be... Oh, I've forgotten how to do this. Such a long time ago since I've done this. If we go to... Maybe there's one... maybe there is one in. Here we go, styles.video, and have a look at that import. Styles.video.module. There we go. So in here we need to import styles from layouts. So this would be layout.css, I think. Components layout.css. I think that's right. And then that becomes here, that becomes class name. That is the same as video.js. This class name is equal to so that is styles, and that is btn. btn, yeah, that'll do. Okay. So then in the layout.css, we then have .btn. And because we're importing from Tailwind, we can manipulate those things. Let me just double check here. Everything seems happy and hunky. That's all good. Just have a slurp of the tea, and then we'll add some CSS. Man, this hibiscus is nice. It's berries. Tastes like berries. Okay, so what I want to do is take a little look at tailwind.css.com. If you haven't used Tailwind, then I highly suggest taking a look because it is so good. Let's have a look at buttons. So you could do BG. Yep, that's good as a button. That's good for a button. There's one that is bordered, disabled, and all that stuff. And it's Tailwind is a utility mechanism, so it's lots of utility classes. So I have just been asked a very interesting question by Segfault Anxiety, and I'll just copy this in, otherwise I'll lose my thingy. But then I'll answer you. But that's an interesting one. What do I listen to music-wise? Podcasts, news, etc. We can't use the hover states. We have to. What we need to do is we need to do .btn hover. I'm just looking where that where that key was on the keyboard, and then we do apply. I think that should hopefully cover it. If not, I might have to do the rebuild, I think. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. I need to do an npm install, don't I? Because I've got an silly me. I haven't actually got Tailwind installed because I've done a git pull. Anyway, whilst that's going, Segfault Anxiety has asked a really interesting question. What do I listen to? Podcast, music, news, etc. when you dev off stream? Okay, so I think the music one is probably an interesting one because I have lots of different music tastes. As long as it's not a musical, I'm fine. I'm absolutely happy listening to anything that isn't a musical, and I would probably not have pop like and perhaps R&B. I'm not a massive fan of that. I like at the moment I'm listening to a lot of Dead Mouse. I'm listening to a lot of uh, I've gone and lost my the strobe off of Dead Mouse. I love that. Listening to a lot of sort of Sub Focus at the moment. Yeah. So it really depends on what I'm doing. There are times where I just like silence. Like, if I'm in a place where I'm really, really sort of like, if I've gone through several levels deep of recursion and I just want to get myself in that sort of world where nothing else matters apart from where I am in the code, then silence is probably a good one. Which is something that I can do really well here because I work from home remotely. I can just turn everything off, so I'm in control of that. If you want that and you're working in an actual office environment, then I do recommend getting some noise cancelling headphones and just sit there. Sometimes I will just sit. I was known in some of the offices I've been in to just sit there with headphones on and no music on. I just wanted to be alone for a minute whilst I was trying to work through some real technical stuff. But yeah, I would say Sub Focus. I would say not Modest Mouse, Dead Mouse. Modest Mouse is good. And then I like my indie stuff as well. So I like Arctic Monkeys, Oasis. All of that good stuff. It really depends on what mood I'm in. I do like a bit of drum and bass as well sometimes. I like a little bit of Massive Attack, a little bit of left field. I also like rap as well, a little bit of rap. I also like classical music. So sometimes you'll catch me just listening to Radio 3 or classical music on Spotify. In terms of podcasts, though, that is awesome. That's an awesome question. I have been listening to a lot of the Iteration podcast. I have my podcast myself, so I listen to a lot of other podcasts because it gives me creative inspiration as to how I conduct my podcasts and talk to people, and I can get a lot. I listen to podcasts primarily for that, but also for actually learning stuff as well. So Shop Talk Radio, Ladybug, we had Emma Whitkind on the howtocodewell.fm. Yeah, it's all good. So I listen to a lot of stuff. Syntax.fm as well. That's all good. Yep. We had Iteration on, which was awesome. That was early on in the year. We had Iteration on. If you're interested in the How to Code Well podcast, though, this is the link podcast here. howtocodewell.fm. That goes out every Friday, and usually I have a guest on. I've had probably about 40 guests this year. It's only been going this year. We've had people from, as I've mentioned, we've had John Jacobson, we've had Emma Wedkind, we've had people from Amazon, Google, Adam Argyle, we've had people from Twilio, we've had all sorts of people from all over the web. We've had someone from yeah, lots of people, lots of conferences, lots of organizers, lots of teachers and mentors. They all talk about how they have come into the industry, and we also talk about their coding backgrounds as well. Some have come on and they've literally only just been a programmer, like just got into the industry. So that's fascinating to hear. So we had Tom Varell on, who had only been in the industry for a few weeks. And we did the podcast, and hats off to him, because he was extremely hungry for obviously all the learning knowledge and stuff, and he was extremely aware of where he was, in terms of the level of things, and it was just hearing his passion and his desire of learning was just so I was just taken aback by it. He was just such a great guy to speak to. We also had We've also had people on who've done different industries. So we had Josh Hudson on, and he was working in a call center beforehand. We've had factory workers come on and have been in the web development. So talking about how they transition from one career to the next has been great. So yeah, do check that out. That's howtocodewell.fm. I'm going to use that time segfault as a means of a plug. Just reading through the comments. Yeah, lo-fi, hip-hop, VGM music, or blues. Yeah, I get that. I think that when you code, you get into a rhythm, and then once you get into that rhythm, things start flowing. And I think that a way to get into the rhythm is music. I really do. I dig that. So yeah, I totally agree with that, segfault. That's a good list. Cool. Right, so I've apparently installed some bits and pieces. So let's see if I can run Gatsby develop again. And hopefully this isn't going to fall flat on its face. And it has. This is generating development JavaScript bundle failed. What's going on here? File CSS has broken it down. So let's see. Can I comment that out and see if that is the thing here? Yes, that was the problem. All right. So what's going on with? Is it because I imported that? Yes, it is. Invalid mapping. So we've got here the CSS, the original, the line number, which is 4, which would be here. Now, I thought I had to do apply on these things, because if I go to the Tailwind site, there is a part when you're using post CSS that you need to do the apply, but perhaps not. Let's see if yeah, here we go, apply. Perhaps not. Let's just see if we can put that in as the button class. Let's see if we can knock that out. I might be able to get away with doing this. So instead of class name, we do class. There we go, class. I don't think that's possible, but it is, so I'll be quiet. That is possible. I thought I needed to apply it because I'm using post, but fair enough. Fair enough. That's what gone through. Okay, I don't like the rounded border. That's not good. Hey, thank you very much, Waddle, for subscribing for 2 months. Thank you very much. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you very much. And also, thank you everybody for following too. I am keeping half an eye on I promise. I'll go through all the peeps in a mo. But yeah, thank you very much, Waddle. Good morning to you. I hope you had a good evening. Thank you very much for subscribing as well. All right. So just as a quick recap, what I'm doing is dealing with the code challenges site. So this is codechallenges.howtocodewell.net. It's written in Gatsby. I've installed Tailwind, and I was working on it last night, and we've added a bunch of stuff. So Tailwind, previous challenges, current challenge on the homepage, and I'm adding in the submit your challenge button here. So this should be submit your challenge. There we go. Cool. So we've got the terminal running in the background. It's listening to all the changes going through, and then we're running off of localhost 9090, and we're just putting in the submit your challenge button. Now this is Tailwind. So if we were to hover over that, we get a different hover state, and that hover state is controlled by this. So Tailwind is a utility mechanism, and I can change the value of these by changing the numbers. I also want to deal with the fact that with layout.css, I want to do I want to deal with the fact that we have underlines, and I don't want underlines in my links. So we can do text decoration none, and hopefully is that going to, nope, maybe it's Tailwind that's adding that in. Let me see. Go to button.css. Something is adding text decoration. So I tell you what I could do is just have a look at the old web inspector and see where that's coming from. So we've got, it's a bit small, I do appreciate it. Text underline, and if we click on that, that's going straight to text underline here, user agent style sheet. Any. Okay. That doesn't really help. Any user agent style sheet. Text decoration underline. Text decoration none. Okay, maybe I could do any link. Nope. How do I get rid of that? How do I do that? Is there a way in here? Can I do text decoration? And I would like to have none. So text no underline. Maybe I can put that in. So let's remove that because that's obviously not touching anything. In fact, that would go into global. That would go into the global. So that would be in the global. But let's see if we can put it in here first, though. No underline. There we go. We got no underline. Okay, so I'm not sure where that came from. Okay, and then clicking that should take you to the howtocodewell.net, but obviously that needs to be a separate link. So that would be https howtocodewell.net/discord, which it's doing. Sweet. Do I want that to be a different target? Probably not, because what I'm thinking is eventually having a header which is common across all How to Code Well bits and pieces, which I'll have to work through at some point. But I think what I do need to have is no ref. I'm just getting the spelling for this. No refer and no opener. Because if you have a look at this article here, developers.google.com, links to cross-origin destinations are unsafe. When you open another page using target_blank, the other page may return the same process as your page, unless site isolation is enabled. So it's not target blank, so I don't think we need to necessarily worry about that, actually, thinking about it, because I don't want to open it in a blank page. So no, I think that's fine. I'm stressing about something that I don't need to, so that's fine. Okay, all right, so that's done. I'm going to also put another issue on here, because what I would like to do is move the previous code challenges to the right hand side. So let's do homepage, or move previous challenges list to the right on the home page. Labels, design. I guess it's also an enhancement, isn't it? Projects is V1. I'm going to put it as the milestone of V1. And if I can't get it to work, I will just put it to V2. Okay, so rating triage. Let's do this in progress. I'm just reading your comment there, Segfault. Potential podcast subject: coding as healthy, well-balanced. You think I'm a healthy, well-balanced dev? Oh, dear. Fake it till you make it, I guess. Too many, I know. Okay, yeah, I get. Yeah, that's yeah. As a subject, I think that is a good idea to talk about how to get a healthy and well balanced. Because I would love to know. So I'd have to find out someone who has a healthy, well balanced development lifestyle. If you know anybody, then do let me know, and I'll be in touch. I'm recording a podcast tonight, actually, after work. Yeah, no rest for the wicked, eh? I say that. I really do enjoy them. I really I learn so much. This is my way of getting knowledge from people. If the saying is, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you need to get out and get into you're in the wrong room. Well, I work from home on my own. I'm in my own room, so the best way for me to get and speak to people who know far more than I do, and it's not that difficult to know more than I do, is to bring them on and have a conversation with them. So why not record it and put it as a podcast? And that's really how the origin story of the podcast happened. Yeah, bad sleeping, bad eating, bad exercise. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I lifted a weight, to be honest. Yeah. Morning abandon. Morning. Okay, so that challenge thing button, it has been added, and I want to move that over to the right hand side, and we're going to do this in some sort of flexy manner using Flexbox. So I need to put that in a div, I need to put this in a div, and then I need to put both of those in a containing div which has the flex ability. Is that the right word? The display of flex. So I'm going to put, I know that we've got layout working here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a div, and we're going to give this a class, and so that's my container div. And what I'll do once I'm happy with all of this is I will probably alter the layout itself. We're going to have another div here. Again, we're just going to have an empty class for now. I'm just getting the structure, the DOM as good as it can be. We're going to have another div in here, and we're going to have a closing div like so. Now the idea, if I was to tab these out, is that we would have, this is the container, and that container would contain this side, that's the left hand side, and then here is another container, and too far, and that would contain the right hand side, which is the previous challenges. And there we go. Sorry, I've gone and get my tabs right, and then that would close the container itself. So with Tailwind, Let's have a little look on the documentation. Flex box, if I can spell flex and not put in any oh, come on, man. L. Flex box. All right. Okay. So here we can see how the flex box works. So you do class flex, and then you can put in, say, a background here. That's the gray background. You can have flex 1. Down here, I believe there is responsiveness. This is what I want to play with. So with responsiveness, you give it different, I guess you could call these viewport sizes, perhaps. So SM is small, MD is medium, LG is large, XL is extra large. You can configure all of these things in the config as well. So you can see how that would change going forward. All right, so if Tailwind identifies you on a small thing, it's just going to use flex 1, and then it's flex auto and so forth, which means that that can grow. Sorry, as I've mentioned here, you can do all this in the config here, like so. Okay, so let's see. What I'm going to do is, first of all, we need to start this off with having the flex thing in here. Just having a look at the chat now. You're talking about beer. Yes, just drink beer. Problem solved. What kind of beer do you like? What kind, are you an L man, or are you a lager type fella, or stout? I quite like IPAs, to be honest. I'm an IPA guy. And I'm a whiskey drinker. Oh, yes. I do like my whiskeys. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's go for this one here. Flex 1. What does flex 1 do? Flex 1, and then flex none, and then flex 1. Text center, BG, and then here we've got PX, PY. So these are coordinates. P meaning padding, X meaning the X coordinate, Y meaning the Y coordinate, and then the number 2 is the amount of padding that you want to give in that measurement. Let's grab that for a minute. Let's do flex auto for just a second. So flex auto and flex auto. Let's give this a background of 200 on the container just to see where we're at. And also let's give some padding as well for all of these things. So we're going to do padding and margin. So that's M. There we go. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we've got our gray little box here, and in here we've got the previous challenges on the right, and then that on the left. If I had a look at the actual the code in the development window here, we can see that we have the container, and then underneath here we have the flex autos. Now, it doesn't look terrible, but it's not where I want it to be. Also, I mean, obviously we're going to get rid of the gray, I think, and just have it white. I've mentioned that I'm not a fan of having the dates on here, so I think what I'll do as well, whilst I'm at it, on post links, I'll remove the date. Because it's going to be November, right, December, and all this stuff. So I'm not overly concerned with having the date, because the date is just going to be the same day, but the month is going to change, so I'm not overly worried about that. You're a Bourbon. Bourbon guy. Awesome. Yeah, I like Bourbons too. I must say I prefer Scotch, but I do like a bit of Bourbon from time. Yeah, stout when it's nice and cold outside. It's now turning into the weather where I do have a bit of brandy A little bit of port, maybe, especially around Christmas. A bit of port around Christmas is always good. Port and cheese. Port and cheese. All right. Okay, so how can we tidy this up a little bit? We can get rid of the padding and the margins, I think. Let's drop that down to, let's just remove that and remove that. That looks a bit better. And remember, this is going to be, this won't be grey, this will be white, I think, just to keep it simpler. I think that's looking better, personally. Yeah, so I think that's probably a good idea. Like a good layout, I think. So we're going to remove, it was the padding I removed, wasn't it? So let's go to layout.cs. No, it's not. It's in index.js. Let's remove the paddings and just put in the margins. Also remove the background gray. And let's do a quick refresh. Yep, that's looking good. That's looking good. Let's also just do a quick, what does it look like when I... Okay, so I need to fix that. That's not good. It's not responsive at all. So let's see if we can work through more of a responsive grid. So here we have flex 1. So flex 1 meaning that it's going to be what am I saying? Flex 1 means that it's going to be just one row. So that is now flex. Small is flex 1, medium is flex auto. And we'll do the same here as well. And let's refresh. Cool. And let's see if this does anything. Okay, I'll probably need to put it in responsive mode. That would help, wouldn't it? Okay, it's still not working as I would like it to. So let's see. How I've obviously missed something. To control how a flex item both grows and shrinks at a specific breakpoint, add screen prefix to existing utility class. For example, MD flex 1 to apply flex 1 utility to only medium-sized screens and above. Maybe. So how does that shrink? That doesn't shrink it. I mean, that moves forward and back. What I'm after, of course, is to have, when we get too small, I want to have coding challenges as the first row, and then underneath that have previous challenges. That's what I'm after. So something's not right here. Yeah. How to code well cooking. Yeah, slow cooking. Yeah. I'm sure that as the weather goes up, gets better next year, we'll be talking about barbecues. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to barbecue weather. I must say, I've had some really nice roast dinners recently. Some really nice roast dinners. My wife is a fantastic cook, but there's something about flex none. Gotcha. Thank you for that, Turnid. But there's something about barbecues that I'm missing. But I think you need to have a decent weather for that, obviously. But we've had some really nice, like roast cabbage and roast um, turkey, and we're really getting into the whole festive season. Um, Roast red cabbage is awesome. Um, I'm guessing, Segfault, you're in some sort of like really hot climate. But you're saying that you're done with it. Pigs and blankets as well. They're sausages wrapped with bacon. Brilliant. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, who'd have thought you would wrap pork in pork like that? And it's just so nice, so nice. Also, we've got a bit of once if Murphy doesn't jump on it, we've got a bit of a herb garden outside, like with rosemary and thyme and other bits and pieces. So we cut those bits off, and lavender, and we put that in with the roast potatoes. Oh, lovely. And the juices from the meat. Oh, I'm feeling hungry now just thinking about it. It's good. Flex none, as Tyranid has mentioned. Flex none, I think, needs to go. Flex none to start with, right? I think that's correct. Is that what I'm missing here? Let's do a refresh. Still a little bit strange, although iPhone. So that's still not happy. I'm wondering if I need to develop, show web inspector. I'm wondering if it's outside of, no, it's definitely this, isn't it? Flex none. Oh, is it because I have got flex none on, I haven't put flex none on here, maybe? Is that why? And is it also because I'm calling this class and that class name? So many things I'm doing wrong. No, that's still not as I would like it to be. How strange. So, it's that, isn't it? Really, just removing the flex from, because that's how I want it to look. So, that's strange. So they both have flex none. Unless I do flex none on the small screen. So SM flex none. And then everything else is auto. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm just hacking about now. I know that's different from the documentation. No. Unless, what does flex none actually do? Is it just telling it that flex shouldn't actually be around? Main flex. Display block. Gotcha. Okay, so maybe I need to do flex none on here. No. Nope, I'm just hacking it all up. It could be flex column, flex wrap problem. Yeah. Good point. Flex wrap. It probably is that, isn't it? To be honest, flex no wrap and flex wrap. Don't wrap normally. Wrap reversed. Responsive wrapping. So excuse me, let's put that up in here. And let's try that. Also, let's set this to what it was. I think that's probably a good idea. Control Z, panic, panic, panic. Control Z, bring it all back to what it was. Flex 1, and then this is it flex wrap? Okay, gotcha. All right, so this is better, but it's too wide. So iPhone 8's the same, Plus is the same. That is, and then it gets the iPad Pro, and then there is that. That's good, that's good, that's good. So there is a problem with the width, I think. Flex wrap. So let's see. If we did, that's SM. Still not right. Still not right. If that was, yeah, I'm just thinking, if that was flex none, and if that was SM flex. There we go. There we go. And then, okay, so let's go up the chain. So we've got iPhone 8. That's still the same. That looks pretty good, to be honest. I'll center that button, I think. iPhone 8. Good. Mini. Could be better. 9.7 could be better. Could be better. That's better. So I can adjust the portions of the config. So if I wanted to, I can adjust in the config. But that's good. That's good. That's good. So I'm happy with that. So if I wanted to deal with these iPads, I could do by defining different widths and stuff in the actual config. But you know, this isn't only just for iPads, of course. So, but really, I wanted to get the mobile stuff sorted. So that's really, really good. Let's remove the flex wrap and see if that actually did anything. There we go. There we go. Thank you very much, Tyrannad. You're on it this morning. Thank you very much. Yep. That is brilliant. That's brilliant. That really is good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to put in a div class here because this is going to be for the BTN. It's going to be like a little row for the BTN, I think. And I'm going to just search for in here. Is it text alignment? Text center, align center. Let's see if we can do that. You right, Murphy? Good boy. There we go. So that's now in the middle. I might give it some margins and stuff. So let's do margin top. Let's do 2. Margin bottom. Let's do 2 and see what that looks like. That didn't really work, did it? Margin top, margin bottom. Let's just do M. Let's do M4. Margin top M4. Why is that not? No. I'm sure it's MT. Let's just do M for margin all around. Okay. That worked. Let's do padding as well. Let's do that instead. No, that's not good. Let's do M1. There we go. So I think what I need to do is padding top, PT10. There we go. Let's do PT5. So that's padding top 5. We can do padding bottom 5 as well to bring it in the middle. That looks better, I think. Yeah. I mean, it's not. It doesn't look brilliant, right? But I mean, it's getting there. It's certainly getting there. What does that look like? That's now moved it over to there, which I don't really want. So we could do SM text center. So that would be text center here, and then let's do to default with text. Is it text left to start with? No, I'm guessing now. Text align. Yeah, it is text left. Text align center. Text align left. This is, well, on here. Scroll down. That looks like it's on the left. I think that needs to be MD. And we will knock that over here. That's it. And then that's better. Gotcha. And then that's in the middle. Wonderful. Yeah. Yep. Happy with all of this stuff. I really do like Tailwind because it's just such a quick way I can throw this all on. Start with text center and then use SM text. Start with text and then use SM text left. Okay, I'll try that. Text center or MD text left. Let's try that. So that's gone in the center. That's just moved. That's okay. And that's in the left. Yes, so that did work. Yes, that did work. Awesome. Good. What else can we play with? Just having a look at the time. Good boy, Murphy. Good boy. I'll just have a sip of my tea. Let's have a look at the best thing about these herbal teas is that you can drink them okay when they're cold. This one's berries, so it's just like drinking a lukewarm smoothie, I suppose. Okay, that's the live one. This is the new one. If we move this one into, has this been triaged? This is in progress. Yep. So let's have a look at the projects. Add submit. Put your current challenge on the homepage. Add lists of previous challenges to the homepage. Yes. Move previous challenges to the. Yep, that's good. Adding the icons to the challenge titles. I think I'm going to tackle the icons in one stream. I think because there's a number of things that I want to do. We did have a look at the different icons available. I think I'm going to use I think it's dev icon for that. But there's various things I want to do, especially with the consideration, sorry, of mobile. I probably need to fix up some of these titles so I'm not overly happy with this kind of copy, current challenge, and then December 2019 code challenges. That should probably say current challenge in the center, and then have like, you know, December, just the date, December, and then the list. We don't need to say this again. That's probably, I think the actual font is too big, to be honest. I think the font size is too big. But I think I can tackle that probably off stream. I'm going to tackle the heading, this part here off stream as well, the actual the header part, because let me take this out of responsive, because as I mentioned, I want to make this consistent across the board with other things, and that's a little bit of work, so I might do that off stream one weekend. And the footer, I still got to decide what I'm doing with that, but I think as it stands, it's not so bad. It's not so bad as it stands. I'm happier than it was. I'm going to now probably push this up. I think I'm going to do that. Push up the five changes. So let's go through them. Let's do that. I need to commit some work, obviously. So what did we do? We did. Let's remove that actually. Let's go to the index. There's no point in having commented out code if it's not running. So on index, we removed SEO. I will come back to that at some point. We also added page structure. It was to call flex structure. We also added a button, didn't we? We added a button. Did this go in here? Yes, it did. We also added submit button. Now, what I want to try and do is fixes. I want to see if we can get, so that's number 10. I want to see if we can list these. So fixes 10. We've done that. Yeah, okay, fixes 10. So we're in the develop branch. We're going to commit that. And then in, what did we do in the here? I don't think we actually did anything. So I think I could probably get away with reverting or rolling back because we didn't do anything there. Post link, what did we do? We removed the title. Oh, sorry, no, we removed the date from post link. Okay, let's commit all of that up. So git repository push. And let's take a look at the code here. Compare and do a pull request. These are all the changes that I've put through. There's a mighty amount, but I think that this is the way of doing these deployments in these hits are good, especially if I'm doing breaking the streams up into specific sections, like this one was the Gatsby, the next one is going to be the design patterns course, and so forth. It gives me a there's no reviewers, it's fine. It gives me a let's just do a pull request. That's a pull request, and then so that's going to check all of those things. Merge pull request in. Confirm the merge. Just do it really, really quickly. Right, I'm not going to delete the branch, the develop branch, because I'm going to probably work through that. But let's see. That's being pushed up to master. So if I go to the SRC here, we should see in CSS. Yes, we've got global CSS, which is all the Tailwind stuff. So let's do a refresh. That hasn't changed. Why hasn't it changed? Is the site still deploying? Maybe the site is still deploying. Why has that not changed? Bear with me just a second. Oh, that's frustrating. It might be that the repo hasn't picked this up yet. Just going to log in. There we go, it's changed. It just took a bit of time. There we go. I gave it a kick, but it's just changed. So now we have just pushed that live. So codingchallenges.howtocodewell.net has just been updated. There is a submit your challenge button that you can click and access the Discord server if you wish. And then there is the channel there, Coding Challenges, that you can use. You should also be able to see previous challenges and my YouTube video review. I do want definitely to put in the list of challenges. Now, I'm probably going to do on this page the list of challenges on the right hand side here. So we'll be using much the same sort of layout as this page here. So we might work on that on the next time we work on this is probably what we'll do. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. That's good. That's good. Segfault, if you, as Tyranid has just mentioned, feel free to ask on Discord. Go for it. Go for it. Okay, so let's see if we can tidy up these issues then. Because if we go to the project, so you can see that these are all fixed. They've all got the ticks there. So, okay, that's done. Put your current challenge on the home page. That's done. Add a list of previous challenges to the home page. That's done. Add Tailwind CSS. That's done. Move previous challenger list to the right on the home page. That's done. Wonderful. What a great way to end the stream. That's superb. Brilliant. I'm digging that. Let's just make that a little bit smaller so we can see. All right. So the next stream will not be, as I mentioned, will not be this site. The next stream will be the Design Patterns course in PHP. The next stream will be not Wednesday, it will be Thursday, because tomorrow I'm driving quite far, unfortunately, to a client. I just wish everybody was a little bit closer. So I'm traveling tomorrow morning. I'm actually going to be on the road earlier than I stream. So that's yeah. So I won't be around tomorrow. I'll be in and out of the Discord server, obviously, but I'll be with a client tomorrow morning. On Thursday morning, we're going to tackle the design patterns course and see how that goes. I'm yet to pick a design pattern to do. We've got plenty of design patterns to deal with. Probably still going to be kicking about in the behavioral design patterns. We did the mediator last time, I think. So we might... No, we didn't. We did the... Was it the mediator? Yeah, it was the mediator. So I might look at... I'll have a look and I'll find out. But I'll let everybody know on Twitter and obviously on Discord as to which design pattern, PHP object-oriented design pattern I'll be covering. And that will be Thursday morning at the same time, 7 o'clock GMT in the morning. But I'm super happy with that. So that's codechallenges.howtocodewell.net. So for anybody who's watching this, who's like, what on earth have you just been building? So this, I should have really said at the start, every month on the Discord server, we have a challenge. And there's been the last 2 challenges I've actually done, or sorry, the December challenge and the November challenge, I've actually reviewed these on live on Twitch on a Sunday. And we're going to do the same for December. So the December challenge, let's just go through it. So there's 2 levels. The first level is a Happy New Year card. So create a HTML page that says Happy New Year from, and then your username, wherever username you want to use, whether it's the username you use on Twitch or on the Discord channel or on GitHub or what have you. Use a Christmassy font or some sort of nice font for a New Year card. And then level 2 is to make it sparkle. Now, I want you to add an image border around the card. So have a nice little background or what have you. But then this is the gotcha here. Add fireworks. So you can use JavaScript if you want, but if you want to if you want to put in some finesse and some jazz, then don't use JavaScript, just use CSS animations. And I say just use CSS animations. They're actually quite tricky. Anybody who thinks that CSS is easy, try this challenge. Try this challenge. The previous challenge we did was in November. This was the Christmas countdown. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of... I'll list all the challenges eventually on these. So I'll have to add some bits and pieces to the front matter of the markdown files, but that's fine. And then use regular expressions to pull out the whatever. So we'll do that eventually. But we had a bunch of people who submitted to the November one, and I reviewed those on YouTube. I'm also going to have links to the portfolios here as well, much like I've done on the actual YouTube video. The YouTube video, of course, goes to How to Code Well, the YouTube channel. Which I will just put down in the chat. YouTube. That should have worked. Yep. youtube.com/howtocodewell. That will be where the review goes. Awesome. Okie dokie. Well, thank you ever so much for joining. It's been great to talk about. We've talked about all sorts of things. We've talked about herbal teas, meats and cooking and all sorts of things, wonderful things. Thank you ever so much for everybody who's followed, as well as to Waddle, who has subscribed with Prime for 2 months. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Also, a massive thank you for all of these usernames are very challenging, so I'll try. R Menzii, G Tech Mondo, Vagnesi, and it's me EF34THER. I'm sure that is a word, but thank you ever so much for following. I do appreciate that. It's great to have you on board. Do check out the Discord channel. if you want to join the discussion and continue in this off stream. Thank you very much. I'm off to do my freelance work, and then later on tonight I'm going to do an interview for the podcast. Happy coding, everyone. I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye bye.